Well, hello, lovelies. Welcome, all you yarny peeps and you non-yarny peepers. I know I'm still nasally, putting on the rubber gloves. Yeah, today I decided to sit outside and do another attempt at dyeing. Let's see if this one works out. I mixed or pre-mixed already 6 colors. They are of the rainbow. And this is Tulip Dye. I'm actually using the Tulip Dye. Again, I didn't read the directions, so I just added warm water and shook them up, and we'll see what happens. And what I'm going to try to do is, I just have these, I wound up some cotton yarns that I had, and hair, some cotton yarns that I had, and wrapped them actually around this big piece of Tupperware lid. The Tupperware lid, when I measured it, was 48 inches all the way around, and I hand wound them into hanks. This one here only has 118 yards on it, so I'm going to practice with this one first. And this is dry. It's what we're going to do is a dry rub. Just feels funny saying that. So I got the lid. I needed a flat surface, dry yarn, and wet dye. Let's try to not have a cat hair on there. That's almost impossible in my house. All right, so I saw Rebecca at Chemnitz do this a little differently than I'm doing it, but hope you could see it on there. And I'm just gonna literally just mop up on the dry yarn, mop that yellow up. I might sprinkle a little on there. Again, I have no idea what I'm doing, but that's what's fun about it. Just like when I do my artwork. I just kind of have a plain canvas and whatever transpires, transpires. So there's our yellow. And mop that all up there. Put the cat back on. And then after we add all these colors, this one's definitely warmer. The other whoop, hey. Once we add all these colors on, then I'm going to put them in a bag and let them sit for probably overnight. I thought that it would make a difference as far as letting it sit for a longer period of time. I'm getting a lot of mixed information from different dyers that I'm watching. So there again, I'm just doing a lot of trial and error on my own. Let's put a little more orange. Oh, you know what I just realized I did? I wasn't even doing the legit rainbow here. Hold on. Yeah, let me put you, I did a yellow and an orange. I guess the red's gotta go here and that way. Not a problem. I fixed it. I do have to get to the library. The man that lives here is home. And I gotta borrow his car to go to not the library, wishful thinking. Go to the post office. There we go. So that's what oh, bug. Let's let him go. He's still alive, folks. He's still alive. All right, so that really should be halfway. So let's generate this red up a little more. Pull that up a little bit more there. Hope I'm not off the screen. And since I screwed up the dye, sorry about my arms. I got the dyes up ahead of us there. Let's put a little more orange in this section. The way that Rebecca did it was literally put it in a tub and then just sloshed it around. I'm trying to be a little bit more methodical with mine. All right, so now that we did those colors, so then this is going to be green. Okay. Gosh, how could I forget the rainbow? Like, everywhere I look in my house is rainbow. All right, so now we're going to put the yellow with the green next to the green. Yeah, thank you guys for all your votes of confidence on the other ones I dyed for Sam and Mike. I was a little disappointed that they were a lot more faded than I would have liked. Let's hope this stays more more brilliant. Yeah, I can't even think straight. Been really tired. I guess this thing that I had, I won't say it. I don't know if you could say it yet on the thing, but I had a mild case. It really was just kind of like a head cold, but I find that I'm just really way more tired than, I'm normally tired anyway. That's just part of who I am, but a lot more to the point where I'll be feeling like I'm fine, and then all of a sudden I'll just like have to go to sleep or feel as though I do. But yeah, this one here, I guess I said already, and I might say again, is I definitely misjudged that. Is really just a practice. Let's hope this is blue. It's a practice piece, just to see how this works out before I use it. I wound a lot of skein or hanks, so before I use those up, I figured I'd try it on this one here. Like I said, it's under 200 yards of cotton yarn. This is a 4-weight, where the other ones that I did for Sam and Mike were fingering weights. This is fun. I mean, this is something that I don't know. I don't know much about kids, but this is something even a kid could have fun with. Now for purple, and then I think I'll just, let me do the red first, and I'll do the purple. Yep, that was a good idea. Just that, make the red a little bigger. See how it's not that messy. Well, this is like what I use when I'm mopping up for other dyes. I have a mop or hank that I use as a mop. And purple. Well, I guess we're going to have a lot of purple. Yeah, this is tie-dye as opposed to the acid dye. I don't know what this technically is, but yeah, mopping it up. So that's a lot of white there, but maybe I can clean off my gloves. Yeah, so that's pretty much the hank. And I've got some of this reusable. This is really cool. It's reusable, resealable plastic wrap, which is perfect for this kind of stuff because I could keep using it. And I just undid it from the other hanks that I did. I unrolled them and rinsed them out. And now I can seal it up. And it kind of sticks still to itself. Yeah, voila. And I'm going to do a few more, and I will talk to you soon. Alrighty, so let's see, am I filming? Yep, I'm filming. Okay, so when I did hank these, this one here is the like bleached white. The man that lives here is leaving. That's if you hear the truck. And anyway, this is the bleached white one of the, I think it's Lilies and Cream. I don't have the wrap here. The other one was the unbleached, I guess. I guess that's what they call it. So, but what I did was when I made them into little hanks, I tied off. So I'm going to use those ties, because there's 6 of them, sections as my guide, because I kind of messed it up the last one. And we're going to start the rainbow correctly this time with the red. I was doing it like a crayon box instead of a rainbow. Yeah, I'm really interested to see how these come out. This is just a tag so I can remember, because I ran out of, when I was winding, I was running out of, of the ends of the yarn. And so some of them are like these. This one here is 177, 133, no, 177 yards. I was just doing the math with the calculator, mind you, because you know how I suck at math. I might have to do a little more red, but, and I might even leave that space in there. Who knows? So anyway, so I don't watch, well, I watch some TV, but I've been really trying to not have the TV on during the day, and trying to get things done, which is, you know, some days are better than others. Some days I'm completely unmotivated. And what I've been watching on YouTube, it's a channel. I watch Mr. Ballin, Ballen, and he's a young fella, well, young to me, but then again, most people are. And he tells like really mysterious stories, like true stories. He goes everywhere from like sci-fi stuff to people that are missing still, and spooky stuff, and really, really interesting. And what's great about him is not just the stories, he's a great storyteller. So I just want to do a shout out, my little channel, to his huge channel. For you guys, if you're interested, he's awesome. And there's a new one that I've started watching. It's Soft White Underbelly. And the fella Mark, I apologize, I'll tag his channel underneath. I mean, he's a huge channel. He was a commercial advertiser and photographer for commercial advertising, and he ended up having an epiphany, I guess you would call, where he was having making so much more money for the people that already had so much money. That kind of stinks a little, but we'll manage. Anyway, so he decided, and what he does now, or what he's been doing, is interviewing and photographing various street people. I don't know if that's a technical term. I apologize if I'm not being politically incorrect with my terminology, but just people that are, you know, different types of different people. And I'm finding it absolutely fascinating and heart-wrenching. A lot of these stories are just, geez, you know, heartbreaking. And I'm trying to think the saying my mother used to say. I used to complain that I had no shoes until I met a man with no feet. And this really, watching these videos of interviews of these people, really make you get on your knees and thank whomever you believe in, because some of these people have it really rough. And God bless them, they really endure, and I'm just finding him amazing. Anyway, so his name is Mark something, and it's Soft White Underbelly. And it was ironic that he was just he goes, a lot of it is, you know, California, Skid Row and that kind of stuff. But he was in New York City doing a few, which of course is appropriate there as well. And one of the young kids, which is a college student, chatting and whatnot, and the kid was from the exact town that my son lives in Connecticut. And my daughter used to live there also. Rusty, as you well know, Rusty. My daughter used to live, and my son still lives in this town in Connecticut. And I just thought that was interesting, because it was like, oh, because he was actually the kid in the interview was actually chatting about the different things about his town, and I'm like, I didn't even know that, and my kids have lived there for years, you know, about just different cool things about that town. But yeah, that was interesting. I'm just making small talk as I'm doing this. I have no one to talk to except for the animals. The man that lives here, we don't really talk much. It's sad, but it is what it is. So, to the purple. Oh, here comes the sun. Yeah, it's really pretty out. It's a little bit of a breeze, which is nice because it makes it more comfortable. It was a little cooler in my house. I don't have AC or anything in my house because we don't need it up here. We live in the country, as you probably know, and the way the house is, we have we don't have like the windows blaring, the sun blaring in windows. It's like downstairs. I'll have to show you sometime. I have like a little front porch where I have my greenery, my succulents and plants. And Rusty and I have done a couple of videos in there. And then off to that is the dining room, and then there's a living room, and then around the corner is where the stove is, the heat stove, one of them anyway. So there's not a lot of sun blaring in, so my house stays actually pretty cool. So and we have ceiling fans, and that works perfectly fine. What do you think? Should I stop here? Yeah. I can hear the crows off in the back, out in the woods there. I'm just going to add a little green. Yeah, I have horrible tinnitus. So I'm often saying, what? And it's not that I can't hear, it's just that I always hear like a loud refrigerator buzzing in my ears. And I've had tinnitus, I don't know, forever that I know of, but when I'm tired or not feeling well, it tends to even get worse. But it's really horrible. My husband is, oh, I said the H word. The man that lives here, he's also hard of hearing, and we spend a lot of time going, what? So that's why we don't even really bother talking, because we don't even hear what each other's saying. Kind of sad. I'm just adding a little more in here. So pretty cool. I think this one's ready for a wrap. That's a wrap. That's a wrap, dudes. Let's see if I got it off my finger. Yeah, this is, I might have just found the new fun way to dye yarn. I hope these come out pretty cool. Maybe I should add a little more here. Let's go with the orange. Because this is not that messy. Like when I'm doing it the other way, it's really not too bad, but I gotta lay out all kinds of stuff and yada yada. So this is, and I could pack this up and be done in no time, as opposed to setting stuff up and breaking it down. I don't know. What do you think, folks? Not that you could tell me over the phone. Should I put a little bit more red, or let me drop a little more red. I love watching Rebecca on Chemnitz. She's got such a, my mind's so mellow, and well, I don't know, you're like probably falling asleep, but she's got such a personality and energy. She's so fun. Yeah, I'm just kind of blah today. So even on the lives, I was on a few of your lives today, and I was pretty much lurking most of it. So I was wrapping this stuff up too, but sometimes I just don't feel like chatting. All right, we're going to bag this up, and let's try, this is the bleach. The other one was the other lilies and cream, or sugars and cream. And I have another sugars and cream I want to try. So these are all the ones I'm trying that are abnormal yardages, but just for fun. All right, I'm putting you on hold. Hello back again. All right, so the other two, I've been putting them in a Tupperware, a little Tupperware thing after I wrap them. This is the fingering weight that I did the other ones. It's 100% cotton. And it's the fingering weight, I forgot how many yardage it was, but I was using, this was kind of, I had wet this and soaked it in the salt. Oh, by the way, my soda ash came today. So now that I have the soda ash, I will attempt again with the acid dyes, soaking them in that. But this one was soaked in salt. I kept saying something else, soap, when I videotaped it. And I was going to use it as a mop, you know, and I didn't. So I'm going to attempt to dye this one as well. I didn't section it out, but... So what else to talk about? So I've kind of put a hold on the mystery bags that I was doing, the Yarnoliciousness mystery bags. Sold quite a few. We made quite a bit of money. We were able to help out some some furry people, furry animals, and furry people too. Some fur babies and some people that were in need. And we will continue. So we are going to still do that. Of course, as most of you know, I ended up getting sick myself, so I ended up having to slow down a lot of what I was doing and take care of me for a little bit. But yeah, we actually raised a significant amount, you know, good amount of money, and we helped pay for some fur baby bills. We also were able to help out some people, you know, that just are having a rough time of it. A lot of people are, and I'll never be rich because if I have it, I will share it, and which is fine. That's the way it's. I don't need much. I buy my clothes from, you know, secondhand stores or whatever, and I'm not fancy. I don't even wear the jewelry that I have. I don't like expensive jewelry. I've had expensive jewelry in my lifetime, and it was sentimental and also worth a lot of money, and I lost them because my son had gotten sick, and I had to borrow my grandmother's car because I didn't have a vehicle, and I was actually bringing the jewelry to the jeweler to be appraised so that I could have it insured. I thought there was some irony there that I lost it. Well, I didn't really lose it. I did the proverbial, what is the word that I'm looking for? I had the jewelry wrapped in tissue, and as my grandmother used to say, never wrap your jewelry in tissue, it'll always get thrown out. And that's pretty much what we figured happened. It must have ended up, I think when I got back with the car for my grandmother, she cleaned out whatever was in there, which I didn't make a mess. I was just taking my son to the doctor. But in her cleaning it out, she threw everything in the garbage. So the jewelry belonged to two people that had already passed, family members that had passed, and they were already buried. And so I had a little solace in knowing that it wasn't somebody just walking around the streets with my ancestors' jewelry, that they were buried in the ground just like the people were that owned them originally. So that kind of helped, but it was still sad because they were valuable pieces. There's 3 of them. But, oh, I don't even know why I'm going into that story. You probably are. This is going to be bedtime. I think it should be bedtime dying, and I will talk you to sleep. But, yeah. So anyway, I don't wear jewelry. So anyway, back to that. So I don't really. I'm a cheap date, as I like to say. Really am, because I don't even eat. So really, literally, if I was dating, I'm a cheap date. If I go out to eat, I probably have a salad. Unless we go to Roots. There's a place in Naples, New York. And their food is so good. That's where Craig used to be a chef. I think we videotaped. Yeah, we did. We videotaped there at one point. Right now, this here, it's got some of those colors. I really should start with yellow. I think that's what I might do with the other hanks. I got a lot of hanks I want to do, but this is the other 2 that we just did are kind of test hanks, because I want to just see how they turn out before I go through all this and find out that it doesn't take into the cotton. It's going to fade like, whoop, I just spilt it. Almost on me, but I'm wearing junky old sweatpants. See, when you're an artist, most of your clothes are, you know, painted on and whatever. So it's not a big deal. And I got just a pair of old sweatpants on. It needs more, a little more yellow. I hope I'm in screen here. I don't even know. I'm not even checking. I'm just got you on there. So I hope all y'all are doing good and enjoying the change of the seasons, though it does seem to be changing almost minute to minute throughout the day in some areas. There was some pretty bad storming down south of the United States, and It's been pretty good up here. We had a couple hot days that were very summer-like. Today is summer-like, but more springy summer. It's got a little bit of a breeze, which is why I don't like it hot. I take cold over the heat any day of the week because I can't breathe in that, in the heat. I have a hard enough time breathing as it is. And speaking of breathing, I've been doing really well with my cutting back on my cigarettes. That should be halfway and it's not. So what do we do? Well, you know what? We're going to do it. Yeah, I've been doing really well. I was on, I guess, Froggy's Live today, and Carrie the Yarny Elephant, and Coco. And Coco was using her vape, and I've been really using my vape a lot more. And I've smoked probably about a pack a day, 20 cigarettes a day for the last 50 years, almost 50 years. And about 3 months ago, I decided to cut back. And I've been under 10 cigarettes, with the exception of maybe 2-3 days, under 10 cigarettes a day throughout this last 3 months or so. So for that, I'm very proud of myself. And I've been vaping, and I think that's probably too why when I got sick, this is definitely not halfway. When I got sick, I probably didn't get that bad, maybe due to the fact that I'm not smoking as much. So that could be why. But yeah, I really need to quit smoking, and I mentioned a while back in my videos that I'm off my meds, which is another reason why I have less energy and am babbling like I'm, on Thorazine right now. But I kind of went off my meds for a little while. I'm taking a med break, which kind of screws with your head a little bit, and emotions. So I take emotions. I forgot the E there. Emotion, I take mood stabilizers. Because I can get cranky. It's not really cranky. I have anxiety. I have very bad panic anxiety from a child, from birth, basically. But that just kind of sucks. I feel bad for anybody who has any kind of anxieties or depressions and all kinds of. There's so many disorders. I watch Doc Snipes. She's awesome. She's gotten now more to where she talks to just like regular people, non-clinicians. Now she does, but her channel is primarily for mental health clinicians, and they can get their CEUs. I think they call them the CEUs, in credits. And that's what I went to school for, but things change so much so quickly that they don't even use the word Asperger's anymore as a illness. It's all the autism spectrum. So I was on her live today, and she was just talking about autism and the new DSM-TR, which is the Diagnostic Statistical Manual for Mental Illnesses. It's how they diagnose you, give you labels and your access and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, the autism spectrum is pretty crazy, pretty fascinating. And I'm going to add a little more red just to balance it out, but I probably could have, maybe I'll move the orange. I don't know if you can see it. I think I'm going to pull the orange up a little bit and then extend the red to balance it out a little bit. Let's do that. But yeah, the autism spectrum, that wasn't really a thing back when, my kids are older. So I really didn't hear much about it. Most kids were just dealt with as if they had some kind of a behavioral issue. And it's not the case. The brain just functions differently. Not right or wrong, just differently. And for people that don't have that, sometimes it's hard to understand that when somebody is on the autism spectrum, and it varies from person to person, just like everything else and every other, mental, big truck. We hear that once in a while coming down the main drag there. But just like any other mental, I don't even like to say mental illness, it's just how our brains, there's so many different facets to it and whatnot, that why would we all be the same? We'd be cookie cutters and, as I say, Stepford children from the Stepford Wives, which was filmed actually in the town right near me, Westport, Connecticut. But it's just a different way of the processing in the brain. And so it's not good, bad, or indifferent. It's just different. And if you have a better understanding of how different the brain processes information or so on and so forth, it makes it easier for everybody to communicate with one another at their level and understanding. And that's what I think a lot of people don't get, is because my brain functions a little bit different and processes a little different than yours, doesn't make me whatever, mentally ill or whatever. It just works differently. And I think there's they're doing an autism awareness. I know Nisi Freehandley Maid, she talks a lot about autism. And I think it's Melissa Crochets with Love, and maybe Dana Wanderlust. I think they're doing, or they just did perhaps, a fundraiser for the autism, which is fabulous. But I think if we just stop trying to judge and put people in boxes and just accept people and try to understand one another from the level that we can, because I have a hard time understanding other people's mental illnesses because I've had mine. Crinkle noise. I just got dye on my face, but I'm not going to show you. I've had mental illness all my life, as did everybody else in my family. I have how many siblings? I had a brother who committed suicide. And then apparently I had another brother that didn't know about until after my mom had passed. So I kind of knew about him. There was speculation that my father was, before he, got together with my mom, apparently he had another lady friend. And there was a child that was born, and my wonderful mother paid child support to that child for 18 years, which I give her a lot of credit for that. But it was never confirmed until after Mom had gone, and unfortunately after my half-brother had already passed away. My half-brothers that I never met, one of his sons contacted my sister, and it was really super fascinating, very sad that I never got to meet my brother, but wonderful that now I know I have two nephews and a niece that I never knew existed. So that's really super fascinating, and hopefully sometime I get to meet them in person. But I don't even know where I was babbling from. This is just a total babble. This is probably like an hour, but I'm enjoying sitting outside and instead of talking to the animals, talking to you guys. So this is a great bedtime video. All right, I'm gonna let you go. Bye. Well, I'm gonna at the end of this, in a couple days or a day, I'll show you what the yarn looks like. Love you guys. Hello, lovelies. Yeah, these are the 4 hanks that I dyed up yesterday, and I rinsed them out this afternoon because it was really rainy and cloudy all day, and now the sun's out. It's around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I just have them hanging on the back of the chair. They're still wet, but they came out pretty good. This one here I did in its own video. Oops, sorry. And the orange looks kind of dirty, but hopefully once it dries it'll brighten up a little bit. But yeah, I will take a picture of them or show them to you when, oh, there's the breeze, when I get the hanks, when they dry. So before it starts raining, I just wanted to show you the 4 hanks of yarn that I dyed the other day. They're all dried. It took a while because it's been rainy out, so I usually like to sit them out in the sun. But yeah, these are the 4 skeins. These 3 here I dyed on one video, and this large one here I dyed on its own video. So yeah, they came out pretty good. I mean, a lot of dye came out of it. It was crazy. I mean, rinse, 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 forever. But look how beautiful that is. All twisted, you know, but it's got the same rainbow design when you open it, and then that's just twisted. But isn't that gorgeous? Yeah, so these are all cotton. They're not. This one here is the same yarn that I used for Samantha, or yeah, Sam Manfa's, and Mike's yarn. It's a fingering. I think it's 420 something yards, but I only have one of them. And these are just odd, thick 4-weight Lily Sugar and Cream. And this is also, I think, Lily Sugar and Cream. Excuse my throat again, folks. It's just not getting better. That is a 4-weight. So I think this was a little bit more yarn. But the other ones I hanked that aren't dyed yet are like the same yardages. These are just odd yardages, except for this one. Anyway, yeah, they came out pretty good. I'm happy with the this is with the tulip, and I'm happy with that. And the next thing I'm going to do is Easter egg dye with those little tablets when you were a kid and you added vinegar. So that's the next thing I'm doing is I'm going to try to dye some cotton yarn with Easter egg dye. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, love you guys. Be well, be happy, be you, and we'll talk to you soon.